Well, hello, Third Agents. So good to see you hanging out in chat. I appreciate that a great deal. You know, I was going for Christmas, and this sounds a little bit more like Halloween. But it is like the Nutcracker song, right? Hey, thank you, Duke. Hey, Rem, you made it on time. Excellent. Tell me you can all hear me. Won't you? Yes, Nightmare Before ThursdAGE. That is sort of what it sounds like. Excellent. Swan, hey, this is exactly Christmas Trap Remix. Yeah, no, it's what I picked from. I got another one here I'll play in just a moment while everyone's gathering themselves and comporting themselves so as to be hanging out with us. Jay Gray says, I've been working on creating Genshin themed play-by-post in my Discord server utilizing the streamlined Fantasy Age 2nd edition experience. I do like that. It sounds also like a conversation perfectly suited to the Skunkworks. I'm wondering if, Jay Gray, if you had an opportunity to do that. Interesting. Okay, great. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the IP itself, but I am familiar with Fantasy Age. I will say this real quick. This is ThursdAGE, and what we do every week, nearly every week, we try, is get together, hang out with fans of the adventure game engine, which powers many of our games here at Green Ronin. And I'm Disembodied Troy. I work for Green Ronin as, kind of the community nerd. Outreach and engagement person, you name it. A little bit of everything and loving every minute of it. So it is the holiday season, and that means, Duke says we're about to finish our 2-long-year winter-based mouse guard on Fantasy Age 2nd edition. Nice. Wow, that's 2 years. That's very interesting. I'm wondering, for folks who are in those sustained campaigns, do you, is it, in the past, have you replaced that with other things when you find your gaming group and you adore them and you want to hang out and play games? Or, how many of you really sort of have a serial group of folks that you go from TTRPG play experience to TTRPG play experience, or do you sort of free up your time and look for something new? Yeah, right. Hey, Hippo HQ, good to see you. Oh, Stormer, listen to you. I bet you say that to all the Troys. Yes, I do want to thank everybody for the kind words and thoughtful links to wildly weird videos for my birthday yesterday. It made it a very special day. I ended up spending some time with the family in the evening. Interestingly enough, my brother, for my birthday, got me it's a statue of Fat David, like David Michelangelo's David, which is clever and it's funny. It's big, actually. It's about to I'm 6'5" and it's to a little over my knees, and it looks like Donald Trump, which is disconcerting. So I don't know that I can unsee that. But now I own that. So lucky me. What a birthday miracle. What are we talking about here? Ren says, I've got a few folks who have been playing with me for going on 10 years at this point. Nice. Wow, that's great. They followed me from Pathfinder to Fantasy Age and a few of them have gone with me to Dragon Age. That is really great and a testament to your skills as a GM. Stormer says, I had to leave my group behind when I moved, but I'm slowly teaching Age to my 7-year-old. That's great. Stormer, I have something for you. This is actually something for everybody. I'm going to drop a link to, so we've got some other things kind of cooking in the background, but I wanted to give everybody, it's not huge. It's not it's a gift. I made it myself for everybody. And let me drop that link. So I'm a nerd for papercraft stuff. I just love it. It's just so fun. Once made a giant dragon that was probably 13 feet tall with a wingspan is equal to that, and put its head on a swiveling, oscillating fan, and then those little bags, those plastic pumpkin bags that you put leaves in around autumn. I shredded that and then attached that to the fan, and it just looked like it was blowing flame. It was very, very cool. It was very epic. This isn't quite that epic, but what it is, I will share a window real quick. Let's see. There we go. Share this window. There we go. And it's just it's goofy. It's not, there it is. For you, a paper craft dice that you can maybe sit with your kids and make the dice and kind of explain, how the stunt dice work and what how that's used to, determine what you're doing in your turn. And of course, the green Ronin is where the 6 ought to be. And it's pretty simple, kind of fun. It'll be big dice, but I think that if you wanted to, you could adjust this. You feel free to, if you want to make it smaller or decorate it in any way, do so. And then if you do make them, would you do me a favor? Would you take a picture of it and let me see? I just want to see, if you make it, I want to see how it turned out. Hopefully I got all the dimensions right. You'll end up with something relatively square. But yeah, so that's a little something for you. In addition, I also have this. I'm playing around with trying to learn a little bit more about GMing and sort of the deeper mechanics. I spend so much time supporting people who are running these fantastic games, and it's so much fun. I prefer to be a player, especially, just given how much, how many talented GMs there are out there. But I think it helps me figure out my my sort of as a player, understanding a little bit more of the meta and the deeper components of the adventure game engine. So I made the adventure gravy engine, and basically I'll run over it. I think that it's not quite 1-to-1, but when is gravy ever? But the idea is that you roll your D6 and you can pick your fat, your thickener, and your liquid. And then if you rolled and you've generated some stun points, you can you can spend them on your focuses here, which are like spice, tangy, herb, earth. Basically you just sort of heat up your chosen fat. And if you're doing the mushrooms, which actually is not, I look at this and I'm like, that is a mistake, is actually earth focus. But just a fun way to, make a gravy. My plan as well is to put together a Gravy of the Seasons cookbook that will be available sometime next year. And enjoy the gravy, won't you? I think I dropped the link. Oh, that's very true. That's fun. Yeah, Ren mentions would make some solid TikToks. put together random gravy. And if for fans of Mutants and Masterminds, I will be releasing the Silver Storm Surge gravy, which again is sort of the same kind of thing, different in that it's basically it's sort of determining based on the Silver Surge, which is gave many heroes their powers in the Mutants and Masterminds canon. You can get gravy flavored in some amazingly powerful way. So yeah, so those two things for you, friends. A little goofy, little fun, but part of I like to take people along my own journey of exploring things I want to learn more about, and sometimes to do these little weird side things are really help me wrap my mind around things. I don't know if that's the case for you, but now let's talk about this. What do we have left? I cannot believe that it's the 19th already. You may notice the words in red, like workshop, dev chat, M&M mix-ups. For those in the know, that's the Cape and Cow Club. They're working on, we did our dev chat last night, made some very big announcements, and it was really fun. Got some excitement brewing for what we'll be doing into the new year. They are participants, and it's all, so basically we're doing this at the think tank, the atomicthinktank.com, or it's actually atomicthinktank.com. But the Atomic Think Tank is a program. It's a space where you can hang out and find people who enjoy other the green Ronin products like you do. And we've got, we're going to be launching a looking for group space so folks can wrangle games or wrangle players or wrangle a GM if you've got a player, if you've got a group to come and hang out with you and run games. We also, the Cape and Cow Club is for Mutants and Masterminds, and the workshops that they're doing are pretty fantastic. It's been such a joy to be a part of that process. And basically what they're doing is they're creating a town that has, various Mutants and Masterminds worthy mischief, and they're really planning it from the ground up. It's called the Pinewood Project, and they are having a blast with it. And really what Alex and Steve are doing is walking folks through what it means to truly develop a TTRPG. I'm not sure I've seen anything like it, the opportunity to sit down with developers, and it's really rigorous. It's, and I'm imagining those of you who are sort of the advanced age users would appreciate the notion of, you want to experience a development process as it actually is, not some kind of, easier sort of to manage. And I say easier, but really what it means is there are a lot of aspects that change dramatically when you are working on a project that is an official project of an organization, and considerations that, it's really maddening to have so many great ideas, but to really sit down and go, which of these really fit? And as agonizing as that might be, it's certainly all of those great ideas end up kind of going into this file folder for the future, but the remaining ideas, having been vetted against each other and sort of interwoven storylines that kind of crisscross throughout the various factions and spaces and groups and all the stuff that goes on in the Pinewood Project, it just becomes this really amazing high fidelity experience, which I've really enjoyed. Even the parts where it was like, okay, we've got 300 great ideas, and this idea or this concept will serve maybe 5 of those. And I'm not really exaggerating. When folks, when they came to time to get creative, they were absolutely the ideas were fantastic. Some of them a turn on, tropes that you would expect in a kind of a superhero environment, but others that were just so very unique that that it was really, very interesting to kind of see decisions being made and how they were going to do that. So yeah, they continue to work on that. So the last workshop meeting is on the 20th. And then we have the Mumamo Holiday Extravaganza. What we're going to do is we're going to, like I said, I've got the Storm Surge gravy thing that I want to give folks. There's a couple other things that we want to talk about. And I think we're going to play some Jackbox, I think. So if you're so inclined, then we will then you can join us. We'll be doing that to a degree. We can work with the group to kind of pick what would, and if you've never jackboxed before, which sounds more offensive than it really means to be, it is basically a series of mini games. There's tons of them, and you can play on your phone. And so we'll show a code. You type in the code, and then you connect with us and play as a group, live and in person. Everyone can see it, and that's super fun. And yeah, so it's a really good time. We did that before last year, I believe. I think so. It's been many years, isn't it? But it's always a classic, a lot of fun. Shenanigans ensue, as you would imagine. So, you know, uh, come join us. That'll be 2 p.m. next Monday. This will be the last ThursdAGE of the season, and we'll be closed December 23rd through January 6th, which is a little misleading. We will be, I'm telling you, there's not a person among us that won't maybe take a peek at email or see what's cooking online or whatever. We shouldn't, but we will because we love you. But the other thing to note is that during this period of time, the Green Ronin team will be doing a summit. It's our yearly summit where we get together and kind of look at all the future stuff that's cooking. We talk about plans, and out of that will come our things like what I want to talk about a little bit today, which is the Age Insider program. And not my favorite name, I will say, but I'm horrible at naming stuff. I'm very creative, but when it comes to naming things, I'm like, okay, let's call this the program. Fortunately, when it came to naming ThursdAGE, we had one Owen Casey Stevens contribute that name, and it's stuck, and I love it. And yeah, so we have him to thank for that. Otherwise, it would just be like the Thursday show about age, if it was coming from me. But yeah, so we'll be, doing green running stuff and putting our strategy hats on at the beginning of January. But that will mean that we have to kind of step away. So don't expect immediate replies from support unless something is like truly on fire. If for those that if there's some kind of a TTRPG emergency, I'll be keeping my eyes open in all the places that I do. So you are free to reach out to me if you are so inclined. Do not guarantee an immediate response, but I always like talking to you, whether I'm on vacation or not. So we'll kind of explore that. I just wanted you to know that, and let's see what else do we got cooking in chat. We're about to finish. Yeah, I read that stuff, and I'm still stunned by the 10 years of running a same campaign, which, I mean, I think it's great. It's such a great way to kind of keep your friends connected, but it's just impressive. And Duke's talking about GroupWise. I have a local gaming Discord server that organizes local. Okay, cool. That's great. I do like that. We've got one too that kind of formed on its own. When I say we, I mean Seattle. In Seattle, they just kind of put it together, and I'll be honest, I can't really take on another community right now, but it's nice to know that they're there. Swan May, papercraft is a rare joy. I finished making an origami Yule goat. A Yule goat, the classic Yule goat. I love that. And I'm with you, friend. I really, really love papercraft. It's just something really tactile and fun, unexpected. And then when you make something, it's just sort of like, wow, I kind of turned this flat piece of paper into something really ornate and fun. I'm glad that you were all enjoying that. And roll for gravy. That's right. Shadow Cat. I can feel my arteries hardening just by looking at it. A real gravy surprise. That's right, Ren. Absolutely. Tempo says, Genshin Impact. I'm so proud that it's getting some recognition. I'm playing Arknights, so the best adaptation would be a mix of modern age and fantasy age, like techno fantasy, but more anime. Okay, yeah, I see that. I feel that. This is the last ThursdAGE of the year. That is absolutely right, Duke. Let's see. It looks like Jay Gray and Temple are having conversations about that whole process. That's fantastic. Oh, good. Jay Gray's going to bring it into the Atomic Think Tank, which I love. One thing I might want to add to the calendar, Swami started workshop Wednesdays. Nice. Well, that's huge. I'm really happy to hear that. Yeah, let me. I'm gonna add that to the calendar just in general, Swami. I didn't see that in the. I must have just missed it, but we'll make sure that that is on the both in the think tank, and then I will add it to when I put together the January calendar, which I wanted to do today, but no luck. Let's see. Since there's a big difference between designing for your players and designing for anyone's players. That's true. That is really true. I think that you get a lot of the shorthand because you're connected with these folks and they kind of know what you mean when you're talking. Where new folks, if they're new to the system, if they're new to you and your personality, if it's a convention versus, I mean, there's so many different factors. That's really well said. Yeah, I agree. Let's see. What I hate is when people are sick, going into shops and giving others the sickness they already have. I don't care for that either. It's a different world. I think where some folks are having maybe a little bit of a hard time wrapping their mind around, that it might feel like a cold to you, but it could be something, worse for someone else. So don't go in and, lick all the stuff in the Christmas shop today because that might get people sick or you might get ill. Don't recommend licking anything in public, just generally speaking. Let's see. That Stan, there will be a cheese party with the summit, and I think that I am going to bring some gravy. One of the recipes that I'm perfecting, just to kind of take a little side road to the point, which is my superpower, is I want to make. So I 1 year for my family, I made unicorn gravy, and it was disgusting. It looked so gross. It was basically a gravy-based matter with edible spray-on glitter, silver, and it looked nasty. And I tasted it, and it tasted a lot like one would not expect gravy to taste, but it tasted like doo doo. But I'm gonna refine it, and I'm gonna make a unicorn gravy that is tolerable. I'm gonna try to get it ready for Christmas. And have ordered all of the component pieces. It should be something. I always bring some kind of a fun gift or a surprised dish, a surprised dish, a surprise dish that is also surprising for my surprised family to eat or to discover. I like to surprise them as well. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll bring 3 gifts to the gift exchange and not tell anyone, and so I'll slip them all in, and they'll be just absolutely ridiculous gifts. But then they get me back for doing things like making a coloring book that has pictures of me, to color, which is rude. And one year I got like one of those Catholic kind of shaped prayer candles with my face on it, which was, I don't know what that meant or what they're trying to imply, but it was gross. Swanme says that should be illegal. Yes, it should be, but it ain't. And you know what? I'll document it for everyone so you can see. Maybe maybe we'll come up with something real magical. It's like food torture. It is kind of. And my family forgets because they love me so much. They forget that I'm kind of a little imp, and so they get so excited that we're all hanging out for the holidays. They forget all the things that I do, and they remember by the end of it. They're like, "All right, see you next year." Very fun. What do you mean metal shavings don't belong in food? That's crazy talk. But I will tell you this. There are new advances in edible glitter. I won't go into it now. That's for my other podcast that I do with Stan called Edible Glitter with Stan and Troy. Just kidding. Stan and I we do a podcast, but it's about sumo wrestling. We're doing one this Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific, I believe. Am I wrong? Let me know. Yeah, David Bullock, you're right. You got to choose the right glitter. Yeah, it's something now. Got to watch out for Troy out here convincing people to throw mistletoe at their favorite brother. Yes, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, Stan and I've been doing this for Stan. It feels like 3 years. Is that right? Can it be? But anyway, so back onto the topic. Which what are we talking about? What is this? Who am I? This is ThursdAGE, and we're talking about all the good stuff on this calendar. And there was another thing I wanted to share and show. What was it? Oh, I wanted to just real quickly go over what's in the tank, and have a discussion about just the cool stuff that's happening there. Let me add this to the stream so that you can see it. There we go. So there's going to be some stuff on here that you'll see that you shouldn't, pay attention to. But I moved all the stuff to Runs on Age. Now I've gotten a tepid response to the name Runs on Age. One of the concerns that folks have shared with me is that the titles are so long. Sometimes it truncates if you're on cell or if you are got a small screen real estate. And so I've been trying to kind of condense things. But we've got all of this. I've moved all the age games under one category so that they would be easy to find. And I think that works, but does Runs on Age, do you like that? Let's see. What are we talking about? What's the bell icon for the 25th? That's for Christmas. So you know when to make sure to get your gifts to me by that day. But yeah, so lots of great stuff happening here in the Runs on Age. Sounds coherent enough. Okay, makes me think of Duncan. It does kind of runs on Duncan. Oh, run the only issue. Well, I mean, it is. I helped name the Discord server the All Ages grad server, so I don't feel terribly bad about sort of borrowing a little bit of there for all ages. That's really clever. What do you think, folks? Let me know. Let's see. I'm running out of age and getting unwell more. Same, hard same here. I think that the biggest problem I have with the actual aging process is that when did gravity become an enemy? It's like limping around. Someone's like, "What did you do?" Well, I just woke up. I just stepped out of bed. I just woke up this way. Okay, anyway, so I wanted to take a look. Yeah, there's the, and again, I want to share with the homebrew folks. For All Ages does sound really cool. I like it. I do like it. Good, Duke. I'm glad you like it too. I wanted to be sure that no one from the crowd would be like, "Well, wait a minute." A nice connection, anyway. So these names I picked. You know what? Tempo. Did you not hear me? You asked, or did you ask earlier? And I'm just rereading your stuff. Oh yeah, yeah. So Tempo, it's Christmas. The 25th is Christmas. Just so you know when to get your gift to me by. You got time. Expedited shipping. But in the Homebrew Skunk Works, I thought, yeah. So I renamed it from Skunk Works to Homebrew Skunk Works because people are like, what does it mean? And quiet you, Duke. My worst fear realized. Homebrew ad hominem and Encyclopedia Homebrewica. You don't like those names? Well, I get it. Do me a favor, recommend some names as you're poking around in here, and let me see. Homebrew home base. Now, do we have the yeah, so we should get that event. They're cute. Yeah, exactly. They're ridiculous. I know. They're not good. Um the homebrew workshop, or you mean you want to change Skunk Works to workshop? That's true. The 25th is also the first night of Hanukkah. Absolutely. And I'm certain there are other holidays and observances that I am forgetting. My apologies, but I do hope you enjoy them. Now they're okay, just a little much. Yeah, they're very silly. Honestly, but here's the truth. When we started this, I said, "Hey, I'm going to name these something ridiculous as a reminder that we need to rename them." It was very much an effort to annoy people into picking better names than I could, and it didn't work or hasn't worked yet. But anyway, and then for folks who are wondering, the point of this space is for people. Look at all these cool kids in here talking homebrew stuff. And if you are working on a homebrew project, it's really a place for you to get creative and look at, because we all know that the adventure game engine really works well as a toolbox, as a set of things and features, ways to resolve conflict or create more conflict or measure your connection with others, both NPC and around the table, all kinds of good stuff. And each of the titles has their own kind of spin on, or a feature or mechanism that lends itself, that contributes to the unique flavor of that particular title. And but those pieces are meant to and are designed to be portable, and for it to really look at the entirety of the library, the adventure game engine library, as a toolbox for you to use, and to take a bit of that and take a bit of this, and blend some age games together, bring a mechanism to a TTRPG that you're enjoying that is not, fully running or powered by the adventure game engine. That's all right. And the homebrew space is a place for folks to take their, when you're working on your favorite IP, and the thing that you're doing for your home games, and you're really into it. It's hard sometimes when you're doing that. It's a very unique proposition. It's I would say that in the TTRPG space, the number of people who are really working to kind of create their own, whether it's their own homebrew, unique IP, or they want to, we've heard it all, we've seen it all. Masters of the Universe, Thundar, Charlie's Angels, I heard once, you name it. There are folks out there that, want to kind of, experience it and play it as their own personal game that is certainly not, it's for people at home. It's not meant, it's certainly not a space for people to pitch their ideas of folks that they think that we should talk to secure their favorite IP from whether it's from their childhood, their favorite Saturday morning cartoon, or, some video game or what have you. But it is a space for you to get creative and share resources with each other. And so, yeah, so there's a lot of stuff to be discovered. And this is, again, like everything about the Atomic Think Tank, this is a collaborative space. And so if you're looking at this and you're thinking, I don't quite get, I can explain a little bit, but the homebrew home base is just like this space for people to have a conversation. And we've got all the members, everybody, and it's also it's sort of like the commons, for these other spaces, where there's an events calendar. There's a page where we talk a little bit more. We'll talk a little bit more about what this is all about, and the reason that's blank right now is because it's really a collaboration with the community, and we're putting those pieces together slowly but surely. And then Homebrew ad hominem was more of a place. The idea was it's to really get into, it's the space for debate, to really interrogate the notions of homebrew aesthetics, and what you're utilizing, what works best as far as the adventure game engine tools and all that good stuff, and what the experiences people have had, and also to sort of share work and kind of say, here's what I've been working on. Can I get some can you attack it and interrogate the notion, and let's see what comes out of that after getting some feedback from the community. And then the Encyclopedia Homebrewica is really just meant to be a tools and a resource. We may not even need it, but if somebody's got like, here's 5 easy steps to get port your home game into the adventure game engine, or here's how you would move the churn from the Expanse RPG into your homebrewed game, and then also homebrew rule sets and things that people might be working with that they found to be useful. So yeah, that's kind of what the notion is. But all of that can be changed and adjusted. Um, oh, the home for the play by post. That's right, Jay. Thanks for reminding me of that. I want to do that for sure. Age of Tetris. Yeah. Um, yeah, campaign notes would be so. That's kind of where I feel like the Encyclopedia Homebrewica would be a great place. That can be whatever we want to name it. And again, it's named ridiculously because we're going to look together. We will find a better name, a more suitable name. But yeah, that's perfect for the library. For this encyclopedia of homebrew stuff. Um, let's see, for small real estate screens, maybe the what it is first. So yeah, agreed, Paul. I've been working on that. I've been trying to move things, the focus of what the actual space is to the front of the line so that people understand what it is they're looking at if it gets accidentally cut off. So I'm trying to do that. And if you do run into something that is, sort of, you're right, this is so great. Swan Bay, very true though. You fell with the classic mistake. Temporary names are always permanent. um, Duke says Age Home Brewery. Okay, yeah, I think so. That's great. I can do that. My other question is though, do I want to, when talking about homebrew, it's not just age though. Should I focus it on just age? Do you think? Do you think that there's a space, an appropriate space for there to have for there to be conversations about both mutants and masterminds, which is its own engine and can be used to power all kinds of stuff and has been in the past, and age stuff? That I don't know. Give me your feedback. Let me know if you think maybe it should be separate, or is there some opportunity, some synchronicity between the two different effort or engines, but the same efforts to sort of power your own personal wish list of TTRPGs. Let me know. Let's see. I've got a lot of stuff deep in dev for the Age Creators Alliance, says Stormer at this point, but I'm going to try to drop some stuff into the Atomic Think Tank Homebrew as well. Thank you, Stormer. I appreciate that. I know that people have got so much stuff cooking that it can be real difficult to sort of go, oh yeah, right, I need to, or I have an opportunity to do this. So I hope you don't feel pressured, but do it. Let's see. Figuring what I can drop for homebrew and what stuff I hold on to for my own ACA releases has been tough to figure. Yeah. One of the things that I think might be interesting too is maybe we should start a monthly homebrew confab. Just once a month, get together over Zoom and just talk about what you've got cooking, what you're working on. Maybe we also maybe we do both the Age Creators Alliance and then people who are working on special homebrew stuff. And then we just meet in the evenings at some point in time. Maybe we pick I'm not sure what day works best for folks. Maybe I'll do a poll. And, yeah, I like that. Stan mentions a recipe exchange. I dig that idea a lot, as a matter of fact. Just the notion of kind of sitting around and also, there can be a multitude of reasons why a person is creatively sort of locked into a particular point in the process. And sometimes sitting down with a group can either, can unstick you if you're stuck, or redirect you if you're feeling like, you kind of went down a creative pathway that is not necessarily paid off in the way that you had hoped. But yeah, I'm wondering what. Let's see. Also, separating homebrew world stuff and fluff stuff from actual rules changes and options would be wise. Okay, unpack that for me, would you? Separating homebrew world stuff and fluff stuff from actual rules. So Yeah, help me understand what fluff stuff might mean, and also how we, what is that, do you think? I kind of thought that the ad hominem sort of discussion would be the place. Like, we don't want people to debate stuff that is a person has used and has worked for them, and that they're just out of the kindness of their creative hearts or sharing. We don't want to necessarily go, well, let me tell you why it sucks, which is why the, in the encyclopedia part of it was really meant to be more of a library of stuff that you can take or leave. But the ad hominem places where things really go to grow and to, as if to go through the gauntlet of opinion and experience, and to come out the other side stronger, more, coherent idea, or just people offering advice on how to maybe tweak something to make it more useful. Let's see. Oh, well, that's it. Okay, right. Duke, tell me if this, because I see what you're saying here. Narrative stuff versus the tool, like the actual processy stuff. Fluff, crunch distinction, in other words. Crunch versus fluff are terms some folks like to use to refer to the structures, rules, and character options versus world builder backstories, personalities, respectively. Okay, gotcha. Oh, yeah, then that makes sense. So it is sort of that, sort of the, it's feels a little akin to the left brain right brain fallacy, or not that this concept is a fallacy. I think that the left brain right brain thing is a little narrow for the human brain. But and then there are two different approaches to homebrew generally: people inventing their own worlds and people inventing their own add-on rules. Yeah, okay, I see that. So as a consideration, then maybe there be a distinction between this is a space to discuss creating your own world or adapting. I mean, because there's you're inventing your own world, and then there's adapting an existing creative idea to the adventure game engine, um, and then inventing your own homebrew rules and stuff. Yeah, you know what? Here's what we're gonna do. This is very much given me uh, the notion that we should get together and talk about this. Let's we'll schedule something for January, and and if you can come, that's great. If you cannot, then come to the next one. But we'll sit down, and it's quicker, faster, easier when we're all kind of in the same space. Um, let's see. I think there's a heavy overlap because your fluff informs your crunch, and yes, absolutely, it is. We are looking at an organism, which is why we don't want to sequester these two notions too far apart. But I think providing a delineation in the think tank, to me, feels like a good thing to do. It feels like a way to really support each idea, and maybe both notions or both approaches, while they inform each other, maybe they thrive when they're kind of pulled out and separated. Um, let's see. The best crunch The best crunch and fluff are bespoke for each other and play together seamlessly. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Um, yeah, it's for everyone. I mean, yeah, Jay, great. Are you asking you want to join in on the discussion? I would hope you would. Yeah, that's for everyone. That is for everybody. Yeah, absolutely. I would love to get everybody's opinions and thoughts, and then we can kind of coalesce them into you know, maybe name changes. Because I oftentimes think too, one of the things that why I went with kind of silly names is because I think out of a process comes, you're like, that's what it is. That's what we'll call it, because it's just, we're all on the same page. And I think having the dialogue one-on-one, thanks, Swan May. um, we can really collaborate and be creative. So anticipate, I guess thinking now. Let's see. This is the last one for the year. Then it's probably the best time to ask. But any new updates from Malcolm Shepard about Swords of the Shadow Planet? I haven't asked for a long time too. You haven't. I don't have an update for you, but and this is the last one, but I'm glad that you're here because it's sort of a ThursdAGE tradition. And it would feel weird if you didn't ask, but I don't have any updates. But we will have some soon, and I think we'll be coming fresh out of our summit and cheese festival in early January. So I'm imagining we will have a whole bunch more to say about all that good stuff. And let's see. No, we definitely okay. Yeah, there definitely will be questions around my world has X, Y, and Z as a given thing. How would I make Age of Comedy the Empire? Yes, absolutely. Oh yes, yeah. There are details coming about the Lost Isle of the Pirate Queen, and there's something that we're releasing. Let me make sure I don't end up. I'm going to cover up the think tank for just a moment. Anyway, thank you for that indulgence, though, and I'm glad that we went and took a look at that. I will be putting a poll in the think tank for folks who want to attend. And it's really, truly open to anybody who is fascinated. You don't necessarily even have to be an expert in the adventure game engine mechanics, but if you've got some creative input, or you just sort of really wanted to be able to connect with a group like this, come and hang out with us. We'll do it over Zoom. We'll schedule it in the think tank. So if you're not a member yet, head over to atomicthinktank.com, fill out the 3 very easy questions, and I am certain you will pass the test. Basically, the test is, what game do you like? What do you hope to bring to the group? And do you promise not to be a jerk? Pretty simple stuff. Easy peasy. I've only had to reject one person who just put NA, 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 NA on everything. And I was like, that's not going to work, friend. So they tried it again, and we let them in. So let's see. What was I doing? Oh, yes. I wanted to validate. So before I go away for break, I will be sending out an update with an attachment that folks can enjoy, and that will not, if you know, you know, and if you don't know and you want to know, maybe ping me privately about what the heck I'm talking about. But folks who have received emails from me in the past, maybe extolling the great stuff that is coming in the future in the form of the actual stuff, as a preview, as a thank you for being a contributor, you can expect to see an email actually later today before I close up shop here for the evening. And let's see, what else did I promise to talk about? I talked about the Adventure Gravy Engine. I gave you your paper craft dice. We talked a little bit about, oh yeah, so one of the things that we'll be working on is getting all of the bits and pieces. We were going to try to do it before the holidays, but the Age Insider program, while we're really very comfortable with all of the pieces of the puzzle that will be involved, there are just some things that have to start, like blog posts from some of your favorite notables in the Green Ronin development and design team, and what that includes Chris Pramus. But pre-holiday rush is not the best time to get all those pieces of the puzzle together. So we're going to do that. We've also got commitments from our friends Malcolm and Ian to put together sort of regular. So for the Cape and Cow Club, we do stat blocks. We do like 4 stat blocks a month-ish, sometimes more if we are running behind or something. But basically what that means is that we will be publishing interesting tools and things designed and developed by the line leads for, age games. And that will include, like, for instance, for the Expanse, like including ships and gear and other cool stuff that you can add to your toolbox of stuff for the Expanse RPG, but doing that across the board for all of the age games, and or tools that are usable across all of those experiences. Maybe not, thematically agnostic, but mechanically very cool. So there's that piece, and So all those things we're working on, and we will roll that stuff out in January. So a lot of great stuff includes like a regular blog post from Chris, just kind of talking about what Chris is doing in general. And he's got, I don't know if anybody was following on Twitter. Chris had a great sort of thread going, a kind of feature going about games that he has enjoyed and played, and talk a little bit about them, a little write up on each one, and it was really fascinating. It's if you want to get a look at sort of what a luminary like Chris is inspired by, that'll be that. And then and I also just really want him to talk a little bit more about his miniatures passion and some of the stuff that he has done and continues to do in that space, because he loves talking about it. And I don't know about you, but getting a designer or developer just to talk about stuff, someone who I'm following or really like a lot, I like to hear what gets them, gets the motor running. That is very exciting to me. Let's see. Can I get a link to the website, please? I'm having problems with the difference between it and the app. Yes. Let me give you. But I'm interested in hearing what problems you might be having. Jay dropped a link there. Okay, so I'm going to drop just the plain link just to see if that's works. But let's see what we've got going in chat. Can I talk about playing that adventure? Absolutely. Yeah, David, are you talking about? Help me out here. You say, can I talk about playing that adventure? Which one? The Adventure of Life? As always, I'm mainly wanting a fully fleshed out realms and organization book. Yeah, you and me both. Game sessions. Yeah, we are going to be putting together some game session calendar stuff. Do you have Pulse and Manners? Yes. No. Yeah, right. That's exactly right, Swan May. The basics. Can you not be a jerk? And can you be active? When I say active, we love, you know what, Stan? Thank you. I'm going to print this out, put it on a button, and wear it. I've been validated by Stan. But I forget what I'm saying because I was so validated. It just anything else I was talking about. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That is definitely a defense. Oftentimes people are like, but this is what I do. Not here, you don't. Oh, I know what I was going to say, and that is we welcome lurkers. You do not have to come in and just do a song and dance and, kind of prepare any sort of artificial excitement or joy or whatever. And that isn't to say that people who are lurkers aren't, prone to joy or excitement. But I think that there's a lot of pressure in communities to, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And it is sort of a bummer sometimes when you see that there are so many people who are more extractive than they are contributing. But in this case, this is an opportunity. Maybe at some point you get inspired to make a contribution, or maybe you just put a heart, or you like something, you reply to something with a "this is neat." That is perfectly okay. Nobody has to put together a giant, sort of TTRPG presentation, or create something monumental for the Mutants and Masterminds section. They've got the stat blocks and the Aegis files. Everything over there is just it's remarkable, and there's so much stuff that one would imagine that we would run the risk of looking like a little shabby, or that people would be cutting corners, or that they'd be kind of slapdashing this stuff together. Never once, not a one. These ideas are so well thought out, so well presented, and also presented in a way that is useful, meant to be used. So if you are lurking and you feel bad, or you feel like you haven't joined because, I don't, I don't want to get that excited about something, or that I don't want to have to create a whole new world in order to feel like I'm making a contribution. You don't have to. All you have to do is hang out, read the stuff. And if you run into an error or bump into something weird, that you let me know. If you like something, just give a little shout, which you can do by clicking a heart, which is, and generally speaking, underneath the content that you're looking at. So yeah, lurkers, welcome. What else do we have cooking here? Oh, Pirate Queen. Yeah, yep. Someone always asks a question to pull a string and it just jumps back. That's right. Yeah, yeah. Chris and Malcolm both really do a series of interview-based talks. That's David Bullock. We're going to do that. We're going to do that kind of stuff. And one of the things that I want to do regularly is poll the community and say, what would you like to, kind of theme these sort of moments? And I do think people would really enjoy them. And and I know that the same for Ian, the same for really all of our, sitting down with Steve Kenson and having a conversation about game development is illuminating. Now, here's a thought: if you are very interested in sort of what what it means to game master, and if you're particularly interested in meeting some masterminds, but if you just like the space to explore new ideas and new approaches, you're going to want to head to Joy of Game Mastering, which is broadcasting every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. And it's Alex Thomas, who's the line lead for Mutants and Masterminds. And it's, Alex is a hoot. He's a lot of fun, very engaging, very approachable. And he's really, as much as he is into sharing his wisdom and his experiences, he's also very open to your best practices and kind of, so that's definitely a place for that. The other thing I wanted to share real quick. So yeah, he does that. It's called Joy of Game Mastering. And I'm working on a little piece of art for him for that. I was going to share it anyway, just because, hey, it's my day after my birthday and I'll share if I want to. But it definitely is. I highly recommend it. But that's kind of also meant that's what this space is meant for. Not necessarily, I'm not bringing a lot of expertise to you as far as game mastering experience, but when it comes to sort of connecting with community and connecting to developers, that's my gig. Let me share this real quick. And I see why. I'm like, why isn't it letting me? One second. I just love this. So the idea, the joy of painting was, of course, the popular Bob Ross PBS. Was that a PBS thing? I'm presuming it was. But so it's a play on that. It's very fun. The original thing that I had made for Alex, is hilarious. It's actually just photoshopped his face, but it looks too serious. It just looks too, I don't know what. I don't know if the Bob Ross comes through holding up the you roll the one, which is a riff on the fact that, Alex can be rather punishing to players in his adventures. I mean, in a good way, not in a, no, don't be scared. But this is what I'm making for him. It's sort of the joy of game mastering, and I'm thinking of all the different ways. It's just a composite piece. I'm borrowing little bits and pieces from our games, and sort of from different Means Masterminds books. But anyway, so it's just a confluence of really bad things going on, which reminded me a lot of Alex Thomas's games. Because if it could go bad, it will, and it has. And yeah, so I do believe that is that. I'm thinking that, let me pull this up real quick. I'm going to pay attention to chat. Somebody says, Troy, I've been meaning to poke you about this. We've had that Fantasy Age error submission doc from Duke for a while. Should that go in the new errata submission form? Yeah, it should. And I don't want to subvert what people are doing, but we really should be. We've been collecting errata in that form for some time, but we've just sort of moved to this official process, and it's been ratified by everybody, and all of the different folks, are into it. But I do want to thank Duke for putting that stuff together. It helped out in a very important time. That was back when I think you put that together when we were testing the second edition of Fantasy Age, I think. But let's see. I love this. Yes, this is very well said. Stormer says, I think I can reasonably speak for most any creator that we really appreciate the folks who consume what we create, regardless of if they do so silently or with vocal exuberance. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Let's see. Age of Song and Dance. I like that. I do like the Age of Song and Dance. I can't sing. I'm a mediocre dancer. But maybe we'll do like designing with the stars, developing with the stars kind of reality show. And Blue Rose, I don't have an answer for you on Call of the Wild, but again, after our summit, some of that stuff will shake loose. It'll be a better opportunity for us to say that. Thank you, Stan, for the happy post birthday wishes, and I think that's about it. I want everyone to have a fantastic, whatever you're celebrating, however you're doing it, uh, just know this year has been a wonderful year of hanging out. ThursdAGE has been an absolute blast. When we've had stuff to talk about, when we haven't had stuff to talk about, we've always had the community of folks hanging out, just being a part of it, whether it's, goofy and silly, or we get into the weeds and really talk about sort of, game development stuff, whether we're sharing, new product, we have a developer on it. You are all very, you're just wonderful to engage with. You're a fantastic group of people, individually wonderful, collectively, phenomenal. And, so I really want to thank everybody for their support over this last year, and of course all the years prior, but this last year just feels very uh like things are kind of in sync. Things are kind of not that they weren't prior, but this is it just feels like we're evolving into a new era, and it is really from everybody at Green Ronin, and especially from me, really appreciate it. I see you. I see the contributions that you make. I recognize the hard work that you put in your whether it's your respective corner of the community at large, or whether it is something that you're contributing to the think tank, or if it's just the great conversation that you provide during office hours, which Wednesdays, of course, at 4 p.m. Pacific as are my office hours, or it's just all of the amazing things that you're doing, the live streams, the community events, the convention work. We've just got a really vibrant community of people who just love community, and they love to play TTRPGs, and they include Green Ronin uh, you know products in that assessment, and we're honored and deeply privileged, but we just truly just appreciate everybody for just being the yes and community. When we have an idea and you go yes, and then we can do this, and then we can do that, you are a force multiplier of the highest order, and I appreciate it a great deal. And I'm really looking forward to what 2025 brings. It's weird to even say that, but not, I think back in time when I look to the future, I just never even imagined, I didn't even think about 2025 as a, whatever. But knowing that I'm looking into 2025 with a community like this, we're going to do some really amazing things together. And if this last year's any indicator, 2025, folks better, I don't know what, you better buckle up. You better gird whatever needs girding. It's going to be a lot of fun. And to that end, if you've got ideas or things that you've thought about, or something that you want to make sure that we know, especially moving into this, we're going to sit down and have some strategy stuff. Of course, I can't promise that ideas will be realized, or maybe the idea or the concept that you share is already in process in some way. But if you share that with me, let's play at greenronin.com. And if you know my other one, you can share it there too. But I share that because I just don't need a bunch of sort of spam bots spamming the heck out of me. But for you, friend, if you've got something you want to share, you've got an idea, a concept, or something that you just really, whether it's about the think tank or specific to a product or whatever, send me the note. and I will represent that idea. If I have questions or comments, or if I need more detail, I will reach out to you personally. But if you've got a little time in your noggin before the new year, send me some thoughts, and I will bring those to the summit and share them. And then again, like I said, if there's any questions or things that seem confusing, I will reach out to you and get clarification. So yeah, do that, everybody. Happy holidays. Have a wonderful new year. Send me that information, and I really do look forward to what we've got cooking in the tank and otherwise. Also, I want to play in a game. So if someone's cooking something, and you need a guest, miscreant, or whatever have you, let me know. I want to play, and I think it'd be fun. And with that, I say, let's listen to this. Enjoy. And we'll talk to you in the context of ThursdAGE next year. But don't forget about the 23rd. We have the holiday extravaganza. And if you like superheroes and you like Green Ronin team folk and you want to play a fun game, come by, hang out. Take care. Bye.